gathering the fruit. But as I recall, Alaska has already slain a few giants. Remember TAPS 30-some years ago. Alaskans were told the oil line would be impossible to build. And then, all those years, when this capital was filled with talk about a $40 billion gas line, but that's all it seemed to ever amount to was talk and closed-door deals. Working with you, we shook things up and we passed ethics reform and AGEA and ACES by inviting the private sector via your actions, by inviting the private sector to come in and compete for the right to tap our resources. We now have 2 major efforts underway to commercialize gas without surrendering Alaska's sovereignty. Now the big line will be the work of years. Last month we took another step closer to steel pipe when we signed the license with TransCanada Alaska. To further develop, we're commissioning preliminary work on a road to Umiat, and we're pursuing a road to Nome. We need access to our resources. Alaskans, especially in our smaller communities, they're the heartbeat of Alaska with truly so much potential. We need jobs for income and achievement, responsible resource development, including drilling and mining, timber and tourism. It means more jobs, not more government. Now with the big line, every enterprise, every great thing worth doing involves challenges. But we can be confident in this enterprise because it's founded on the fundamental interests of our state and nation. America needs energy, affordable, abundant, secure. With international conflicts and war and environmental concerns, laws and markets seek safe, clean energy, and that's what we offer. The last president supported a gas line, and so does our new president. Because see, even the most promising renewable energy sources still years away from general use. Between then and now, we need a clean interim fuel to power our grid and heat our homes, and natural gas is ideal. In Alaska, all roads lead, well really we only have the one north, but it leads to the North Slope and to the central importance of our North American gas line, America's security and Alaska's revenue and careers for Alaskans and affordable fuel. Even our ability to finally diversify our economy, all these things, they hinge on the success of this great undertaking. And I assure you, the line will be built, gas will flow, and Alaska will succeed. Ironically now, it's the people who live here, Alaskans, they are blessed. We're all blessed with owning the richest resources in the country. Here, we're getting ready to flow 4.5 billion cubic feet of natural gas every day in a huge line. Yet, we have been more vulnerable than other Americans to every rise and fall in energy prices, and yet we own the resources. The solution for our state is much the same as for the rest of the nation, only the source is ours, and it's much closer to us, and delivery can come sooner. We're facilitating a smaller in-state gas line with legislation that we'll hand you next month. My goal is for this in-state line, completion in 5 years. It will carry 460 million cubic feet of gas every day to energize Alaska. That's what our future is going to be built on. Previously, we've relied on diminishing gas supply from Cook Inlet and expensive diesel and a mix of government subsidies and not enough conservation. And that is not sustainable. And it shouldn't take another spike in energy costs to stir us into action. Alaska will help achieve energy independence and security for our country. And we can lead with a long-needed energy plan for America. But let us begin with energy security for ourselves. And this includes meeting my goal of generating 50% of electric power with renewable sources. That's an unprecedented policy across the U.S., but we are the state that can do it with our abundant renewables and with Alaskan ingenuity. In our energy plan, for the first time, Alaskans will see cooperation among our utilities too. We're going to introduce legislation, creating the Joint Utility Corporation to finally accomplish this. No more fractured efforts to generate power along the rail belt via so many different utilities headed in so many different directions. We're going to have coordinated energy generation, power generation that's going to finally make sense to consumers. Energy is key. Governor Hickel again, he spoke of the undeniable tie-in between energy and poverty, energy and peace and life. He said, our answers begin with energy. Freedom depends on it. So does hope. For goals of hope and opportunity and self-sufficiency, government is not the answer, but government can help with energy challenges. In villages, our weatherization programs, they provide jobs and they reduce the cost of living. We're going to continue to support bulk fuel purchases and PCE and power plant upgrades and many other projects that foster opportunities and self-sufficiency. We've got to do this together though. Got to row together as one crew, and that's the only way that we're going to reach those goals. Now we need more oil in the pipeline too. So we strictly enforce state laws and contracts with oil companies. We'll hold them accountable with those contracted commitments that they signed. They signed these to develop our resources, as we're expected to keep our word to them. Our reformed oil production formula, ACES, it helps them with strong incentives to keep capital reinvested. And it is working, with DNR now just announcing a banner year for new companies entering now a competitive oil and gas arena in Alaska. So Alaska, one day there will come a time when our success is not measured in barrels. The goal is multiplicity, an economy made strong by a wealth of petroleum, but not just solely dependent on it. And again, the test of leadership is to be prepared. We need a plan. Business leaders, local officials, stakeholders, we all agree for our economic future, we need this. Like the old saying, fail to plan, then you plan to fail. To that end, I issued an administrative order this week calling for the state's first comprehensive economic strategy, a fiscal plan. Like our unprecedented energy plan rolled out this month, the Alaska Legacy Plan, it's going to be the first of its kind. It will determine practical strategies to implement today and for the next 50 years. In the past, organizations have studied our strengths and our weaknesses. They offer generalized suggestions for change, and that is all good, and we're going to utilize all that. We propose a strategic action plan for private sector and government to stimulate and diversify the economy. We need participation and common sense from those who make the economy run, namely our small business owners who do all the hard work. They create jobs, and that's where the best ideas are. And this will be the roadmap for activities and investments to grow us strong here in the great land of plenty, with our ideal strategic position on the globe, the air crossroads of the world, with massive size, with stores of potential, and with our spirit and our people, together we'll plot the course. I have confidence in Alaskans, their judgment, their groundedness, even more so after the journey I completed on November 4th. I learned more about fighting the good fight and facing long odds and the need to protect family, my own and my Alaskan family, and putting country first even when voters put you second. This was not unlike Alaska's journey though. And when I took my oath of office to serve as your governor, remember, I swore to steadfastly and doggedly guard the interests of this great state, like a grizzly with cubs, as a mother naturally guards her own. In Alaska, as a statewide family, we've got to fight for each other and not against, and not let external, sensationalized distractions out there on the periphery draw any of us off course. As an exciting year of unpredictable change begins, we too have our work cut out for us. And we're all in this together. It's kind of like Alaska's muskox. You know how they circle up when they're challenged, when they're younger challenged, when they're challenged, their future. They circle up, and that's what we got to do. We have to know that it's only through unity that this state is going to progress. So protecting and progressing under the Great North Star, legislatures and all of Alaska, I ask that together we all get to work. Thank you, and God bless you.